Okay, so we're going to talk about how to fix a V2 Minleon bulb. As you know, they came out with the version 2 this year, and they got this, what do you call it? You can tell if you got a V2 just by the, let's see here, this little plastic thing here on the bottom of it. And it's really cool because typically I'm doing repairs throughout, especially if you start doing installs early, like before Halloween. Then what you end up having was a lot of these bulbs, they end up unscrewing with the hot and cold of the sunlight. So they made this fix where it's got this little plastic plug and it keeps them from unscrewing. So I mean, I used to schedule repairs like I get a couple calls every day, but since they went to this, and then between switching this and switching my mini lights, I was having repair calls. Did about 300 houses this year. Only had about every 3 or 4 days had to go do 1 or 2 repairs. So anyways, a really cool system, but the problem is that this isn't quite long enough. So I'm changing this out. I'm trying to do the this used to have one of these old V1 bulbs, which as you can see right here, the V1 bulb, it's just a regular SMD, the stuff that Minleon's had for years and years. Well, let's see here. So let's see if you can see that. See, there's no plastic edge on there. There's no plastic on the bottom. That's how you know it's still a V1. But anyways, it's got a little nipple right here. Let's see, right here. And because of that, it pushes down this little metal flap inside the socket. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how I fix it, because if you put one of these bulbs in, they don't go quite long enough, and because of that, they won't turn on. So it's not that it's a bad socket, but if you're going an old line, you're gonna have a problem putting V2s in the line of your this is Admiral socket wire, so it's really good. But as you can see down there, there's a little tiny so if I put a V1 back in here, any color, it's not a problem. So I just took that out of this one. This used to have a V1 or the SMD bulb, but the new V2s are awesome. They're a lot brighter, but they don't quite make contact with the bottom. It's pushed down too far. So all I do is I take my little knife right here, and I put it right back in here. I don't know if you can see that, but I just take my little knife and I bend the little bottom metal part. I bend it back. Now make sure your lights are off when you do this, or you will definitely know if you didn't follow that step. But I just go like that, and I'm gonna bend it back up. So there we go. Now I'll be able to, so I know that worked. I got a couple more bulbs to do. So now I'll screw it in, and the bulb should turn on no problem. So unfortunately I don't have a remote screw in to make sure it's working, but I actually turned these off because I knew they weren't working. So the other thing you could do is screw in really hard, and sometimes that will work. But I had 3 bulbs on this one that didn't work because I'm switching out the green, trying to make like the mistletoe look. So here we go. As you can see, it's pushed down a little bit too far. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this right there, and I'm gonna bend it back so it's got the spring back in it. Just take the end of my pocket knife, wedge it in there, and then bend it back out. Now the other thing you can do is buy a couple V2s with you, or V1s, or you can cut out the line. That's the other option. You can cut out the line here and put some new Admiral wire here, put a male and a female plug. But this is what I'm doing to fix it. A little bit of work, but this one's giving me a little more problems than the last one. I think I just got it there. There we go. There we go. Now it's sticking up in the air like that. That's going to make good contact. So now I'll put the bulb back in, and I'm going to go turn these on, make sure they work. As you see, there we go. There's that one. I think I got one more right here. It wasn't working before. Now, don't run around on a roof with a knife open. Make sure you put this closed back in your pocket before you start climbing around on the roof. As you can see, that one's also. Now, just because you put a V2 in these old strands doesn't mean that it's not going to work. But these 3 bulbs didn't. I did about 25, or maybe I actually did close to 40, and I have 4 or 5 of them that aren't really working. There we go. So I got that to stick back up again. As you can see right there, should be sticking up. Now I can put this back in. I'm gonna go turn the lights on, make sure they work now. And there you go. There's your fix, how to fix a V2 bulb into the socket. Now I think I heard from Minleon they're gonna actually change their bulb next year to possibly have a longer nipple on the bottom of them, so you don't run into this issue. But if they're still the same bulb next year, at least you got a solution right there. There's your tip from a pro. If you, like I said, if you can subscribe to our channel, we'll keep putting out more tips how to hang your lights like a pro.